Hello everyone, this is Gerald Lito and welcome to Tech Tuesday. This week we are going to answer two questions, or we're going to try to answer two questions that are related to cybersecurity and Google. Question number one is, what kind of data or information does Google have on you? And question number two is, how safe is that information that Google stored about you from the public? So the reason we're doing this video is because I was on YouTube the other day and I saw this video by Devin Crawford entitled Downloading My Private Google Data. This is what I found. I watched the video because it was interesting to me from a cybersecurity standpoint. And he found some very interesting, to say the least, things about Google data. Some of the things that he shows on this video are pretty controversial, if you ask me. So I'm going to download my own data, I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to share all this information with you. Now, before we start, let me just suggest that you do the same activity with your students in the class. What I would do with them is have them access their district Google account and download their archive data, just so they can see what kind of information Google has on them. A lot of times we talk about cybersecurity and being careful about what we put out in the internet to the students, but it doesn't really sink into them. And it's a very abstract concept for a lot of them. Well, hopefully this activity, if you do it with them, it's going to hit them on a more personal note, maybe kind of freak them out a little bit to the point where, they get that the information that they have can be accessed by anyone through the internet. So with that out of the way, let me show you how you can access your Google data. So first thing that you need to do is get on Google, and then on the right side you're going to have that grid where you have all the other apps. Click on that and then go to account. It will take you to this page. What we're looking for is on the left side, data and personalization. So if I click on that, it's going to take me to this. So there's a lot of options that you have there, but if you scroll down, you can find download your data. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to click on that. And it says that I have an archive that I'm downloading because I started a download earlier, and you'll see why in a little bit. But if you wanted to create a new archive, first thing that you're going to need to do is select data to include. Now, I would include all of the information or all of the data that Google has on me. So that includes everything from Android device configuration, bookmarks, calendar, Chrome. When you get into this this option, you're going to see everything that Google has on you. So I'm just going to go all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to click on next step. So it says customize the archive format. It's going to ask you how it's going to be delivered. So you can have it added to the drive, Dropbox, and all that. I just want a link to be sent to me by email. So file type is zip, and archive size, you have different options here. I would go for the biggest size option that you have, 50 gigabytes, because if you go with the 2 gigabyte option, then it's going to give you more zip folders that you're going to have to unzip, and that takes a lot of work. So once that's done, once you've chosen your options, you can click on create archive, and it's going to give you this confirmation. It says an archive of 49 products is currently being prepared. Please take note that the archives may take a long time, and it says here possibly hours or days, but you will receive an email when your archive is complete. Okay. Now, after I also received a confirmation email there. What the email says is pretty much you're getting this email because somebody is trying to access your data in Google, and if you didn't make this request, someone may be trying to access your Google account. So this is just a security feature that Google has. So don't be surprised when you get that email. Now we're just going to wait for the archive to be downloaded. Once it's downloaded, I'm going to get back to you and we'll look at what kind of data Google has on me. So I received the email from Google saying that my archives are ready. They subdivided my archive actually into two files. So you have your archive 1 out of 2 and archive 2 out of 2. If I click on this, it's going to ask me for my password just to confirm that it's me. That's a good thing. And then it's going to start downloading my my archives. So as you notice, I already started downloading my first one. Second one's downloading now. It's taking a little bit of time, so I'll get back to you as soon as the archive has been downloaded. Okay, so my Google data has downloaded, and we're going to look at what kind of information Google has on me. So these are the subfolders within that Google folder that I downloaded and unzipped. So it has information on my Android device. Let's look at another thing here. Understandably, it's going to have my calendar and bookmarks and my classroom information. Let's look at contacts. Okay, let's look at all imported 13012, and that's a V card. Can't remember whose card that is. Okay, so that one is admin at pbtisd.esc18.net. Okay, so not very exciting. Nothing to freak out about. I haven't seen anything that I should be worried about, but this is my district account, and I don't really do that much on this account other than work-related activities. However, I did download my, click here, I did download my personal Gmail information, and it's saying that my archive is ready, so I'm going to download that right now. Okay, so download's complete. I'm going to get into that folder. These are the subfolders that Google has on me, and I've actually been exploring this a little bit. I noticed two things that were a little bit disconcerting for me. I don't know what it means, but first thing that I looked at is Google Photos. So if you look here, this is a picture of my wife and her friends. Well, she was doing nursing school. Okay, that's not the weird part. The weird part is if I go into this file, the metadata file, see this right here? That is a URL. And if I copy it and go to Google, notice how I'm not signed in. And if I paste it, see how it downloads that picture? And if I open this up, then I'm going to be able to see that picture. Now, to me, what this means is that if I have a URL of a picture that I saved in Google, even though it's a private URL or it's a private photo, if somebody gets access to that URL or to my archive, then they can download all of the photos that they want to of me. See, I'm not signed in, but I'm able to access that photo. Now, that might just be a fluke, so let's see. Let's try another one. Okay, so that's a photo, and that's the JSON file. I'm going to get this, copy it, go to Google, and then paste it there. And it just downloaded, just like that. Oh, that's pretty interesting. The second thing that I noticed was if you go into My Activity, there's a folder that says audio and video, and although you can't hear it, In this recording, when I play it, it actually says, "Hey Google," or "Okay Google." Uh, and here at the back, at the bottom, here's another one. Okay, I wish that you could hear that, because what's freaky about it is that it's not that it's recording "Look up monarch butterfly," but it's actually recording "Hey Google, look up monarch butterfly," which means that it's already recording my voice even before I say the trigger phrase. So those are only two things that Google records of you. So just as a recap, um, I downloaded Google Archive data, pretty much information that Google has on me, and um, once I had that downloaded, I compared the kind of information that they have on my work account versus the one that they have on my personal account. A lot of the things that they have on me are things that you would expect. Things like uh, the photos that are in my Google Photos in the cloud. Now, that but two things that really stood out to me are the photos, which when you look into the metadata, is going to have a URL, and anyone with it, whether they're signed in or not, seems to have access to this photo. I'm not sure about that. That's just my perception right now, just from trying this out. Another thing that I noticed that was a little bit interesting and intriguing to me was my activity, where under voice and audio, you have recordings of me saying, "Okay, Google," and then asking a question. So that is Tech Tuesday for this week. I hope that it kind of made you think a little bit about your internet activity and what kind of information you're allowing Google and other apps to store about you. Hopefully, you can show this to the kids or have the kids work on it with you so that they can see the kind of data that Google has on them. If you have any questions on how to extract or download your activity history in Google, just let me or Caleb know, and we will for sure help you out with it.